Good day to everyone. My name is Maja Stojanović, and I came from University of Novi Sad from the Faculty of Sciences, Department of Physics from the Republic of Serbia. And I will present our paper, Scientific Concepts Related to Physics from the Perspective of Students of Biology. My presentation will have 4 parts. First one will be introduction, then I will speak about methodology, and then results that we obtained, at the end, the conclusion. So let's start. If we start with the aim of modern institutional education and teaching as its primary forms of organized formation, which represents a complete and logically consistent system of knowledge and concept for students, as well as the outcomes of the educational process in the classroom, then we can say it is clearly why many studies pay the special attention for examining how students acquire scientific concepts and how they use the scientific terminology. So this paper is also focused on this issue. Proper understanding of scientific terms is in direct correlation with the quality of students' knowledge. Therefore, if we can influence on conditions which cause students better understanding of scientific terms, that results of our influence will be higher quality of students' knowledge. In order to find the best way through which we can influence on students' understanding of scientific terms, we can say quality of students' knowledge, we must take into account a student's motivation for learning science. Motivation affects the reason students learn and the intensity and duration of activity and learning. Bandura explains that the learning and motivation as reciprocal interactions involve 3 things: personal characteristic, environmental context, and the behavior. Then I will speak about methodology. The subject of our research was to investigate how students of biology understand certain scientific concepts in physics that are relevant to their profession, and how much they are motivated to learn physics. So in our paper, we use 3 motivation components. First one was intrinsic motivation, and intrinsic motivation represents inherent satisfaction in learning science for its own sake. Then we have self-efficacy. Self-efficacy, students believe that they can achieve well in science. And the third one, self-determination, is the control students believe that they have over science learning. For instruments, the test for determination students understand a basic concept of physics contains of 13 items. And we also use questionnaire developed by Glynn. It's scientific motivation questionnaire, and we applied it to examine students' motivation for learning physics. As for participants in this research, we include 89 first year of undergraduate students of biology from University of Novi Sad, from Faculty of Sciences, and this research was conducted at the beginning of the course Biophysics. Data were analyzed by using SPSS Statistics 20. And what results we obtained? Main results shown that the students do not understand some basic concepts related to physics. Concretely, for example, students properly adapt some concept of isotropy, indicative and thermal balance. For example, with the concept of isotropy, students of biology encountered in the context of explanation of muscle cells and skeletal musculature, and the concept of indicative students have met in the framework of teaching chemistry using litmus paper, because determination of acidity of the environment using litmus paper is often used in biology. So it is important to determine in what kind of environments growing plant or what kind of agency is necessary to act, for example, in order to foster the growth of plants or to destroy the certain bacteria. On the opposite side, the concept of normal distribution, resolution, and latency are still unclear for them. So when they have graphic representation of the results and their interpretation, that represent a major problem for the students. So students were mostly wrong also regarding with this question, and according to their beliefs, normal distribution is identified with the equilibrium or with the equivalent conditions, while some students also the normal distribution represents the relevant condition. We obtained that a medium level of students' motivation for learning physics concretely, and also motivational components were approximately the same assessed. Slightly results for the self-determination were higher than for self-efficiency, which can be seen on that graph. And if we compare the results on knowledge test and their motivation for learning physics, we get that the students with less motivation are less precisely answered on questions related to the knowledge of the concept, while students with a higher motivation for physics, we can say they are more precisely answered on the same questions. This results in phases the importance of using more modern approaches to high school teaching that will cause higher motivation for learning physics in order to get higher students' achievement and their better understanding of scientific concept. So we can say that in our paper, the aim of this research was to determine the level of knowledge of the basic concept used in physics, students' motivation for learning physics, and to determine the potential impact on the motivation of students' response accuracy when defining concept. Certain terms that are incorrectly adopted, indicating to the need to change the educational content and to encourage more evident connection between materials. We can say it is necessary to apply new approaches in teaching high school physics, which will cause higher increasing of motivation to learn physics, and of course, the better understand physics concepts. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer on them.